5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff. Go Bandwagon, go ADD 425.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
M1T chamber pressure is nominal.
Falcon 9 has lifted off from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. We're currently throttling down to prepare for max Q, the point of maximum aerodynamic stresses on the vehicle. Max Q occurs in the lower atmosphere, where there's still enough air to create significant resistance
telemetry nominal
against the rocket. This is when the pressure pushing against the rocket is at its highest point, and it's a key test of the vehicle's structural integrity.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
After max Q, the rocket continues to accelerate, but the air becomes thinner, reducing the stress on the vehicle as it climbs through the upper layers of the atmosphere.
Max Q.
And there's the call up for max Q. Merlin engines are back at full power, and we're out of the throttle bucket. From here on, even though velocity is rapidly increasing, the atmospheric density is decreasing, resulting in less loads on Falcon 9. Now we have several events coming up in quick succession, starting with MECO, followed by stage separation, stage 1 flip, second engine start 1 or SES1, and the start of the boost back burn. Main engine cutoff, or MECO, is where all 9 Merlin 1D engines shut down to slow the vehicle down in preparation for stage separation, where the first stage separates from the second stage. Following that, the Falcon 9
trajectory is nominal.
The Falcon 9 first stage will then perform a flip maneuver as the MVAC engine on the second stage is in startup. Then we'll see the start of the boost back burn on the Falcon 9 first stage, followed by fairing separation, where the fairing will jettison from the second stage, now that it's no longer needed to protect the payload once we're in space. And at our customer's request, we will not be showing fairing separation today.
Stage separation confirmed. Stage 1 boost back startup. And back startup. Fairing separation confirmed.
And there we heard those events that happened back to back: main engine cutoff, stage separation, stage 1 flip, second engine start 1, the start of the boost back burn on the first stage, and fairing separation. We should expect the end of the boost back burn shortly. The next major milestone coming up is the entry burn on our first stage, scheduled to occur at about T+5 minutes and 56 seconds. Falcon 9 will perform 2 more burns in order to land. The first of the 2 burns is
nominal trajectories.
The entry burn to slow itself down before hitting the denser parts of Earth's atmosphere. It's similar to pumping the brakes on your car. Without this burn, we'd only be using the atmospheric drag alone to slow down Falcon 9, which adds extra stresses on the rocket. The Merlin 1D engine will relight for that entry burn, and following the entry burn, the booster will go through its final burn, the landing burn, which should slow the vehicle down even more for a successful land landing. You'll notice the number 4 in today's mission name, indicating that this mission is our 4th dedicated Rideshare mission to a mid-inclination orbit. Rideshare significantly increases access to space for small satellite operators around the world. While our transporter rideshare missions launch to a sun-synchronous orbit, bandwagon missions can accommodate even more SmallSats looking for rides to orbit, launching to a mid-inclination orbit and filling the gaps for our customers that wish to expand their coverage or complete unique objectives that aren't possible with sun-synchronous orbit. It's a little dark out, but you can see the silhouette of the grid fins. Falcon 9 is equipped with 4 hypersonic grid fins positioned near the top of the first stage that help steer the first stage as it returns to Earth. We're about 20 seconds away from the beginning of the entry burn.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
There's the call-out for entry burn startup on the stage. This burn is set to last about 20 seconds.
Stage 2 FTS has saved.
And again is slowing down the vehicle in preparation for its final burn and landing.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
And that concludes our entry burn. The first stage has
Both trajectories are nominal.
The first stage has one more burn left to prep for landing. And as mentioned earlier, we will be attempting to recover this booster, targeting a landing at landing zone 2, which is not far from our launch pad. The Falcon 9 first stage is equipped with 4 landing legs made of carbon fiber with aluminum honeycomb. Placed symmetrically around the base of the rocket,
Stage 1 FTS has saved.
They'll deploy just prior to landing.
Stage 1 transonic.
Coming up within the next 18 seconds, we'll have the start of the landing burn at the first stage. The landing burn is the final burn of the Falcon 9 booster, used to reduce the remaining speed of the vehicle for a gentle and precise landing.
Stage 1 landing burn.
And there you heard that call out for the landing burn start on the Falcon 9 first stage. This is the final burn that this booster will see before touching down on landing zone 2.
Landing leg deploy. Stage 1 landing confirmed.
And there we have it, another successful first stage landing at landing zone 2, marking the 3rd landing for this specific booster. Now we have about 2 minutes remaining before the next event, which is SECO 1, or Second Engine Cutoff 1. That's the first of 3 planned events where the second stage Merlin vacuum engine shuts down and restarts after a coast period. Again, we'll do this 3 times before all payloads are deployed. The Merlin 1D engines on Falcon 9's first stage and the Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage are not only similar in name, but share many of the same systems and characteristics. Each engine is optimized to perform in its unique operating environment. An M1D engine generates approximately 190,000 pounds of thrust during ascent and descent, compared to the 220,500 pounds of thrust achieved by a single MVAC engine. The MVAC nozzle extension on the second stage is significantly taller with a larger diameter than the M1D for optimal performance in the vacuum of space.
Stage 2 has entered terminal guidance.
Coming up in about 20 seconds from now, we should be hearing a call out for SECO 1, which will be the shutdown of the second stage MVAC engine.
MVAC shutdown.
And with confirmation of the planned first shutdown of the second stage engine, we have our first payload deployment coming up.
Nominal orbit insertion.
425 Korea. At the request of our customer, we will not be showing that first deployment on camera, so we'll take a short break and we'll be back for another restart of the second stage Merlin vacuum engine, or SES-2, in about 25 minutes. In the meantime, enjoy the space tunes.
Korea 4254, separation confirmed.
Welcome back to our live coverage of the Bandwagon-4 mission. It's been a great launch and overall mission so far. We had an on-time liftoff at 1:09 a.m. Eastern Time, and then recovered the first stage at Landing Zone 2 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. This was the third landing for this booster, and we had a successful first burn of the Merlin vacuum engine on our second stage. We also deployed our first payload of the mission, 425 Korea. Following the first burn of the MVAC engine, Stage 2 entered a roughly 27-minute coast, which is wrapping up now. And we're expecting the second ignition of our Merlin vacuum, or MVAC engine, here shortly.
MVAC ignition and shutdown.
Nominal orbit insertion 2.
There's confirmation of a successful second burn of the MVAC engine on the second stage and confirmation of good orbit. And with that, we have just about 20 minutes until the next event, which is the third restart of the Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage, or SES-3, and that will be followed by the start of our final payload deployments. So we'll take another break, and we'll be back for SES-3 in about 20 minutes.
sat there and looked at a rocket from Mars, and you just boggled the mind. And the technology caught up, didn't it?
Welcome back to our live coverage of the Bandwagon-4 mission. If you're just joining us, we're continuing to have a great mission. Just to recap, we had an on-time liftoff at 1:09 a.m. Eastern, recovered our Falcon 9 booster for its third landing, and we've completed 2 separate second stage burns. And we also deployed our first payload of the mission, 425 Korea. Coming up shortly is the third burn of our second stage Merlin vacuum engine, which will last roughly 1 second. Coming up in the next 15 seconds, we should be hearing a call out for second engine start 3, which is the third burn of our second stage Merlin vacuum engine. Again, this burn will last roughly 1 second.
MVAC startup. MVAC shutdown.
Nominal orbit insertion 3.
And that's confirmation of a good orbit following our third burn of the MVAC engine on the Falcon 9 second stage. And with that burn complete, we are on track to start our final wave of payload deployments about 5 minutes from now. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our live coverage of the Bandwagon-4 mission. Today, we are delivering 18 payloads to orbit as part of this Rideshare mission. We've already delivered the first, 425 Korea. In case you're just joining us, we had an on-time liftoff at 1:09 a.m. Eastern and recovered our Falcon 9 booster for its third landing. The second stage had its second and third successful ignitions, and now we're standing by for our final payload deployments. We should hear callouts for these over the nets as they're deployed. A full list of the payloads on tonight's mission is available on spacex.com/launches. In case you're not familiar, our Bandwagon missions are dedicated rideshare flights to sun-synchronous orbit. SpaceX's rideshare program was expanded to accommodate even more SmallSats looking for rides to orbit. Falcon 9 is also launching the transporter missions, which are a separate line of rideshare missions that deliver spacecraft to sun-synchronous orbit. First up is Taurus, manifested by ExoLaunch and developed by Gumish Aerospace. There are actually 4 nanosatellites being deployed in this deployment event, designed to support applications in smart farming, environmental monitoring, maritime safety, and wildlife protection.
Taurus 1 through 4, deploy confirmed.
SEMI 2 and 3 are next, manifested by ExoLaunch. SEMI is a commercial CubeSat cluster designed to
SEMI 2, deploy confirmed.
designed primarily for R&D purposes.
SEMI 3, deploy confirmed. SeveroSat 1, deploy confirmed.
Next, we have Lemur 2, AFI WOWI, built and operated by Spire, manifested today by ExoLaunch.
Lemur 2, AFI WOWI, separation confirmed. Haven demo, separation confirmed.
There goes Haven Demo, developed by VAST. Insights from Haven Demo will inform Haven 1, the world's first commercial space station. Up next, Tomorrow S8, manifested by Tomorrow Companies, Inc., deployed as part of a constellation
Tomorrow S8, separation confirmed.
for weather observation. SEMI 1 follows, manifested by ExoLaunch.
SEMI 1, separation confirmed.
And now, ISI 2, manifested by ExoLaunch.
ISI 2, separation confirmed.
Next up, Tomorrow S9, manifested by Tomorrow Companies, Inc. This is deployed as part of a constellation for weather observation.
Tomorrow S9, separation confirmed.
Followed by ISI, manifested by ExoLaunch.
ISI-1, separation confirmed.
And next, FGN 100D2, manifested by Fergani Space. This is the second demonstration mission for Fergani.
FGN 100D2, separation confirmed.
Followed by StarCloud 1, the world's first NVIDIA H100 GPU deployed in space.
StarCloud 1, separation confirmed. ISI-3, separation confirmed.
And that was our final payload of the Bandwagon-4 mission, manifested by ExoLaunch. And that wraps up our coverage for today. All of us at SpaceX want to give a big thank you to all of our rideshare customers.
All payload separation confirmed.
A big thank you to all of our rideshare customers. We also want to give a shout out to the Eastern Range and Federal Aviation Administration for supporting today's launch. If you're interested in more launch coverage, head over to spacex.com/launches for the most up-to-date information. And while you're there, check out our departure board featuring our upcoming launches and all the details you'll need to join us next time. And remember to follow @SpaceX on X. We'll see you again soon.